Ho, ho, ho! Joyful tidings. Welcome to Gracious George podcast. My new podcast features the topics of spirituality, divine love, blessings, and how divine providence leads us to where we need to be in life. As a Mauritian being raised on a small island in the Indian Ocean east of Africa called Mauritius, I grew up in cultural diversity. I have African, European, and Indian descent, and I speak Mauritian Creole, French, English, Bhojpuri, and Hindi fluently. Initially on the path to priesthood, my life took a turn. As I followed my heart, I learned the love that was meant for me by walking with Jesus. My experience toward divine love has been an incredible journey, and I've written a book about how my life evolved when I turned to a greater love in life. It is called The Jesuit Who Changed Path, and it will be available very soon. You can follow along by finding me on my Facebook page at George's forthcoming book. In this podcast, I'm sharing my experience with you, and I welcome your conversation and interaction on this subject. Today, December 17th, 2021, already the end of the year, with its lights but also its shadows. In this Christmas season, I would like to share with you my reflection on the birth of Jesus and on the festivities to mark this occasion. With the courtesy of my friend Sarka Nikolai, who is an actress in the BC film industry, I will share with you the rich Christmas traditions in the Czech Republic. Sarka Nikolai is from the Czech Republic, but now settled in Vancouver, BC in Canada. She has given me the permission to share with you, my podcast listeners, her post on Facebook entitled Czech Christmas, with the disclaimer that not everyone today does all the traditions that you will hear about. Here's what she has to say. Czech Christmas. First, it is important to mention that the main religion in the Czech Republic is the Catholic Church. Although this is only true for about 30% of the population, and mostly in the southeastern parts of the country, while the rest of the population are mostly agnostics or outright atheists. This, however, characterizes all the customs and traditions that one has at Christmas. First and foremost, that it is not Santa Claus who comes with present here, but Christ child, Jésus sec. Also, Christmas here begins with Advent. When you decorate at home and lit candles on the Advent wreath and hang mistletoe, which is supposed to be given out to bring good luck, it is common to kiss and eat. Increasingly, this is done with Christmas lights and stars in windows, but not so much with putting lights on spruce trees outside, apart from Christmas trees set up by the village municipality, often along with a nativity scene, which you can also see in many churches. We don't celebrate Santa Lucia here, like in the Scandinavian countries, but instead Saint Nicholas, Mikuláš, as he's called here, who goes house to house the evening before December 6th with an angel and devil and gives fruit and nuts and sweets to the good children, and coal and potatoes to the bad ones. The day before December 4th, is dedicated to Saint Barbara, and it is common then to pluck fruit tree branches or golden rain tree, which you put in water and hope will blossom on Christmas Eve. In the past, people thought it meant that one would get married before the end of the year. Mostly girls did this. Nowadays, it is supposed to bring good luck to the house. Unfortunately, Advent weekends are increasingly marked by a shopping frenzy, and shopping malls are full of shop alcoholics, but it's also a time when Christmas concerts and Christmas shows are attended both indoors and out, and cookies are baked, although more and more often they are bought ready-made. It's no longer necessary with so many different kinds. Some say 7, some say 13, and every family has their favorite. But vanilla rolls and various sugar ginger dough are almost everywhere. And just before Christmas, they bake a Christmas cake that is bread-shaped and meant to resemble Christ's child in a wrap. The day before Christmas Eve is a normal day. If you are at home, that day is used for buying carp, either from the fish shop or from a vat of live fish, preparing part of Christmas dinner, potato salad, and decorating the Christmas tree in the evening. On Christmas Eve, one had to fast all day to see the golden pig, which the adults did by mirroring it on the wall, either not eating at all, or at least skipping the meat and alcohol and eating Christmas bread for breakfast. Almost all the programs on TV show fairy tales from early in the morning. That's how it's going to be all Christmas, and are used during the day to prepare Christmas Eve dinner and or nature walks, or to watch the damn Christmas tree and nativity scenes. Dinner, which traditionally consists of fish, soup, and breaded carp, or Wiener Schnitzel for those who don't eat fish, with potato salad, is eaten at 6 or 7 p.m. It's common to put a fish scale under each plate, later placed in a purse to bring in money, and often set the table for the next unexpected guest. Leaving the table during dinner means bad luck. So you have all the food on the table or right next to it, and only get up when the last person put down the cutlery. When you finish, you send the kids off to play or in front of the TV, then light the candle on the Christmas tree. The tree has already been decorated, but the candles are only now lit, and place the presents underneath. Then an adult rings the bell and calls out to the children that Jesus has arrived. Of course, the children are always late. So the Christ child has already left, but the tree is lit and the presents are in place, so they are still happy. In many families, one of the younger children distributes the gifts among those present. The cards only mark who receives the gifts, not who gives it. After the gifts were given out, the following activities were common in the past, all of which were meant to foretell the future. First, pouring lead into a bowl of water, a Christmas custom from Celtic times. A piece of lead is melted in a metal container over a flame, then slowly and carefully poured into a bowl of cold water, saying out loud and clearly the question you want answered. After about 5 minutes, the lead solidifies and then can be removed from the water, and with the help of wisdom books or your own imagination, read the answer. Another custom, fixing small cake candles in walnut shells and letting them float in a bowl of water. The lights will lit up whichever both shines the longest will have a long life. Another tradition, cut the apple in half to see if it contains a star for good luck, or a cross for death and disease. Another tradition, throw your slippers over your shoulder to the door. If it points outside, next year you are going out of the house, moving out, or getting married. If turning inside, you are staying home. On Christmas Eve, you should shake the fruit tree to ensure a good harvest for next year. By the same token, the remains of the Christmas meal should be buried at its roots. On Christmas Eve, the following is not allowed. First, sweep the floor as it would sweep away the spirits of the dead who come to visit the living. Sew on it, lest mice destroy the result. Cleaning stables, because then the animals would start limping. A modern tradition is the Bethlehem light carried by the Boy Scouts. Every year, the light is lit in Bethlehem and then travels all over Europe. On the third Sunday of Advent, it arrives in Vienna, and from there to the Czech Republic on the Saturday before the 4th of Advent, when it is available in churches, squares, Christmas markets, libraries, etc. The reason for this is the belief, the conviction that it is a flame, that is, an oxidation reaction that comes from the flame in Bethlehem, and the light it emits is a symbol of Christianity, the mind of enlightenment, knowledge, and love, are also togetherness and belonging. These days, all this is being replaced by this year's new Christmas fairy tale on television. Classic like the Three Nuts for Cinderella will air earlier in the day. In some families, not only among the faithful, it is also a tradition to go to midnight mass in church. While Christmas Eve is usually reserved only for immediate families, the following 2 days are often open to families somewhat more distant. Even then, some more festive food is made, such as sirloin steak on the first day of Christmas, and turkey or goose on St. Stephen's Day on December 26th. We are grateful to Sarka Nikolai for this beautiful account of the beautiful Christmas traditions in the Czech Republic. Many of you might have recognized what is done in your own country or have been inspired to adopt certain of these practices that appeal to you. Today, in the background of these festivities, we should not forget the hard economic, financial, and health crisis which is hitting all the countries of the world, and probably even harder the countries of the south of the planet. More than ever, in these troubled times, we need each other. Pope Francis reminds us in his encyclical letter, Fratelli Tutti, no one saves himself. And he adds that one does not fully find one's identity without an openness to the universal, without letting oneself be challenged by what is happening elsewhere, without letting oneself be enriched by other cultures, or without solidarity with the tragedies of other peoples. Hearing about the suffering of the world, we see an increase in precariousness in large parts of our land. Solidarity and social friendship, which we can all live, are just as indispensable as courageous and necessary political decisions. Again and again, we are called to put ourselves at the service of each other. Solidarity opens a new horizon for us. This horizon, revealed by the birth of Jesus, is a light that enters our lives. Light that casts out the darkness of fear, brings forth a spring of peace, bursts the joy of sharing and praise. The gospel of Christmas gives us a lesson in hope. The feast of Christmas reminds us of the heart of the Christian faith. Jesus was not born in a palace in Rome, the capital of the Roman Empire, or in Jerusalem, the holy city. He was born in a stable poorly. There was no place for them at the hotel. The first witnesses were shepherds, a provision little considered at the time. The lesson of this gospel is clear. God is where the little ones, the good for nothing, the outcasts of society are found. We are invited to join them, to join him. The gospel of Christmas gives us a lesson of hope, as I mentioned earlier. At the time of Jesus, Palestine was occupied by Roman armies. A heavy tax had to be paid for Rome. The people were poor. And now the angel announces to the shepherds the good news. A savior, and for all the people, is born. What a dream. Finally, someone who will bring to a hard, difficult, broken world happiness forever. The angel gives a sign, a newborn lying in a manger. What a fragile and derisory sign. Does this not invite us to open our eyes and look around us at all the modest signs of fraternity, goodness, reconciliations, a sign of the presence of Jesus among us, and a sign of the kingdom of God that is being built? A year ends, a new year begins. We wish you hope and strength. We wish you, yourselves, your families, courage, strength, confidence, hope. May this Christmas 2021 make us attentive to the signs of hope on our land, in our society, in the suffering church. In this new year 2022, let us deepen our gaze on the world, on the source of our faith, and may the strength and boldness of the gospel give us the confidence we all need. Come, Lord. With you, life takes a new path that gives the world the breath of life and hope. Come, Emmanuel, come. Please find my page, Georges' forthcoming book, on Facebook. Like and follow that page so you can join in on the conversation. Until next time, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, stay safe, and be blessed.